We have the sage here to help release the curse that someone has been put upon you. Can it actually help? Can the sage remove the negative entities and negative spirits and demonic forces and all that sort of stuff that is around you? I mean, it could. It could. Certainly possible. But I think there's a lot more to it than just, you're just going to do this and just, oh, you're all free. You're all free. No, I think there needs to be a lot of different things done in order for you to release a curse that someone has put upon you. Whether it be some sort of voodoo curse that someone has put upon you, or, something else that you just keep having all this bad luck, all these negative things, bad things happening. You talked about how to spot if someone has put a curse upon you. Now we're going to talk about how to release this curse someone has put upon you. Some sort of curse has been put before you into your life, and you feel as though everything is falling apart. Your relationships are falling apart, your job is falling apart, your whole life is just suddenly just falling apart, and it's all because of someone you were perhaps around. Oh. So that is actually honestly step one. Step one, realizing. Realizing the curse and realizing who did it. Who put that curse upon you? And then really you may try to think about the reasons why they have done it. Let's just think about that for a moment. What are the reasons why someone would want to curse you or put you into a bad situation to have bad things happen to you? A lot of times it could be that they are jealous in some sort of way. Maybe think about that. Jealousy, people who are bullies, people who harass you, people who feel very bad about themselves. So they want to bring you down. They put negative things from their existence into your life. Make you feel bad. It could also be that the person who has put it upon you, they have been cursed themselves. And they're like, I want other people to know what I have felt. So they put that upon you. Like, here. Now you must endure what I have endured. So that you understand what I go through. It's awful, evil stuff, isn't it? It really is. Awful, evil stuff that people do. But human beings are very competitive in nature. They always like to be better than someone else. So if they see someone better than them, they feel very jealous. They feel very bad. So they want to bring the other person down to their level. So that can be what ends up happening. Some sort of curse has been put upon you to bring you down more to their level or below them. But once you recognize it, that is step one. Honestly, that is the acknowledgement that something bad is going on, something bad is happening to you, is the first step. Now the next thing you want to do. You want to set an intention to remove the bad people from your life and replace them with positive people. Here's the thing. You may not even be aware. This kind of goes back to what we talked about regarding toxic people in your life. You have to realize who are the bad people in your life, who are the toxic people in your life, who are the ones that are bringing you down. Who are the ones that really don't have your best interest at heart? Think about the people that they make it all about them. You have a problem, you would like to share that problem, but then they always end up changing it to them most of the time. They don't show any sort of real compassion. All they want to do is just talk about their own life. Everything is always about them. Everything else outside of them inconveniences them to the point where they don't put themselves out for anyone. Any sort of negative, bad person that is in your life, whether it could be family members, it could be friends, it could be co-workers. If they don't have your best interest at heart, then they need to be removed from your life or not have the control over your life that you have let them have. And then you set an intention to bring the positive people into your life and to keep the people in your life who are meant to be there. I personally have done this when I realized all these negative people that perhaps I consider to be friends or close to me. And it's like, they're not putting me first. They're just kind of just like, it's just her again. But they pretended to be all friendly and friends and everything. I realized, no, that's not how I deserve to be treated. I don't deserve that. So I set the intention, basically saying, remove these negative people who do not serve my most positive interest. The most positive interest that I have for myself to be able to learn and grow in my highest true intentions. Setting the intentions to remove those people and to bring new people into my life who would serve a more positive purpose, or to strengthen existing connections if they do serve a higher purpose in my life. And I noticed after I did that a few times, people were just kind of dropping off, just kind of really weird, really strange, just kind of like, they're just kind of gone. And then I noticed that existing connections, oh look, here comes a friend that I haven't heard from in a bit, just suddenly coming back. Or a few other, things that have transpired. So it's very interesting. And that's something that you should do. If you feel as though there's some sort of curse put upon you, release that. Release that curse by letting go of the people that are no longer serving you. Because it could be someone who is cursing you, who you hang around with every single day. It could be something that is more far off at a distance, meaning like it's just some random person that you met they don't have your best interests, obviously. But it could be someone who is closer to you, friends, family members, those sort of people. Now the next thing is, there's many different ways you can go about this. If we look back here, this could be one way, but you want to do some sort of ritual, in a sense, to eliminate these negative forces. Now this can be with some sort of sage. Sage is known to, get rid of negativity and negative spirits and energy and that sort of stuff. Absolutely. You could, depending on whatever religion or culture that you're in, you can do various other things, such as, praying. If you want to pray to, Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, go ahead and do that. Or whatever your God is, or whatever else it is that you want to do to be able to let go of those negative forces around you. Things that align with your belief system. Okay? Because certainly someone who doesn't believe in this or any sort of religion or whatever else, it can only go so far, right? But not necessarily, because sometimes I think it depends on certain circumstances. Someone who is not a believer in a certain thing, whether it be the sage or like a certain religion, even, just suddenly something happens and they're like, okay, now I believe, right? So whatever the case is, there needs to be something done to let go of those negative entities that have attached upon you. You don't even necessarily need to use a tool, but it's usually about speaking to it and just letting it go, letting it out. Now, I will briefly share my experience here because I have used the sage before. I had realized, and it took almost a year for me to truly realize, I did know prior, but I didn't really know how to go about it. I felt as though there was someone who it was very similar to this curse that we've talked about. It's almost like I just kept thinking about this person for whatever reason. This was many, many, many years ago. Just kept thinking about them. It's like, why do I keep thinking about this person? It's very, very strange, very, very weird. And it's almost as if when I would think about them, it was like I was giving them my energy and they were just like feeding off of it. Even though they were not like around me physically. It's like we were not in the same room. We were not close to one another. But it's like my mind would go to that and it would feel as though, you know, they were just kind of there. And it was just like, this feels very strange to me. And I had dealt with that as like I was having health issues, like weird health problems, all this other like weird stuff popping up out of nowhere. I'm like, what is going on here? It's very strange. Very, very strange. Very peculiar. Couldn't quite pinpoint it. Months go by. You know, I had not talked with this person in many, many months. And then that's when I realized, I think this is some sort of curse. This is some sort of curse that has been put upon me from this person. And that is when I'm like, okay, how do I release this? How do I let go of this? And I bought a kit online. It came with this sage. It came with this little thing of like oil. I guess it would be like equivalent to like a holy water, I suppose, but it's like an oil. And then salt as well. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to cleanse yourself, cleanse the environment with this sage. You put the oil around I put it around the door frames and the window frames, and you put the salt there as well to keep out any of the negative forces and everything. So mind you, I did that. I focused on this person. I'm like, I don't want you here anymore. You're not going to extract my life force anymore. Because it was almost as if you're familiar with the term in a more like spiritual sense, like cord cutting. So if you're spiritually attached to someone, it felt as though like my spiritual energy was attached to this other person via, you know, some sort of cord or whatever. And it was like they were just feeding off of my energy. So that is what I imagined severing. It's like, no, how are you still doing this? You know, it's like, I have not talked to you. I don't want anything to do with you. But you're still doing this. It is very disgusting. You know, literally like a whole year of like being in that negative space. So I did the ritual. And then just suddenly that person messaged me right after I do that ritual. Kind of like trying to get back in, you know, it's like, I'm not falling for that again. So I realized then, after I did that, that is the power that these negative forces, these negative spirits and entities have. And if you don't clear that out in any means necessary, however it is that it works for you, then you're just going to keep giving your energy to this other person, this other entity, this other thing. And you may not even be aware of it. As your health is declining, everything else is going bad. It's very important to be mindful of those things. So after you have cleared the curse, after you have gotten rid of the negative energy, you can't just fall back into old patterns. You can't. It's now time for you to set boundaries. You set boundaries, you stand your ground, and you say no to the negative people. If someone is trying to get you to do something, like taking advantage of you, taking advantage of your kindness, just kind of, you know, those toxic people that we have talked about. If it's someone like that, you have to set the boundary and say no. I am not dealing with this. I'm not going through this. No matter how hard it is, or if you feel as though it'd be rude of me if I say no. So be it. It doesn't matter. Go ahead and be rude. It should not matter at all. You have the right to say no and put your foot down and stand your ground. So that's something that you have to do going forward if you don't want other people slipping back in and draining you. And the last thing really to do also, you don't want to externalize your power. You don't want to give your power, give your life, give all of your energy to someone or something else. You don't. What you want to do is be able to retain your own energy for yourself. You don't want to give it to someone else, especially to someone else who's taking advantage and extracting from you. You don't want to do that. And by you setting boundaries, you putting your foot down, you saying no, standing your ground, you'll be able to much more efficiently not externalize your power. So with all these things, if you do them, you'll be able to clear out that negativity, clear out those curses that have been put upon you, and then stop them before they get to the point that they were before.